I'm about to show you how to generate infinite high-quality warmed-up leads as a coach or consultant on YouTube. And just last month, I used this exact same strategy to grow our brand new offer from $0 to $51,000 a month cash collected. And I've even used it to generate one of our clients over $600,000 a month just from YouTube. And no, you don't have to become an influencer, buy fancy camera equipment, or make videos like Iman Gaji. You can do this by making simple YouTube videos like this that go for clients and not views. We're gonna go over how to generate new traffic, nurture that traffic, and send them down a YouTube sales funnel to be converted into high-paying clients. Let's dive in. So you want to get infinite leads as a coach or consultant in 2025? Well, you have to understand that there are 3 steps in doing this. So step 1 is understanding that we have 3 types of content that we should be making on your channel. And again, this is a channel to get clients, not views. We don't want to get hundreds of thousands of views. We want to get a few hundred to a few thousand extremely targeted views that generate a ton of cash. So type 1 content, type 2 content, and type 3 content all point back to this conversion asset right here, which is extremely important because that's where you make your money. So let's open up type 1 content and kind of break down how that works. So type 1 content is your top of funnel content. Now, this is the kind of content that's going to essentially target the broadest amount of people within your market. So for example, this is a video we did for Joel. I built an SMA from scratch to prove it's not luck, right? That is completely top of funnel, got 25,000 views, and it's meant to target the broadest market. Anyone who's looking to start an SMMA or a social media marketing agency, and we just target the broadest people. This video will not make money. However, what it will do is it will target a lot of people, and these people will not lead to money, right? But what this does do is it gets new people in your ecosystem that we then use the other types of content to convert into paying customers. So they will be monetized down the line, but not at this very moment. What are the goals of this content? The goals are to go as viral as possible within your niche. They are to bring new prospects onto your channel so that you can nurture them for the future. And they are also to build your personal brand perception, right? Because when a new prospect comes on your channel, it helps a ton if you have over 10,000 subscribers, right? If you have below 10,000 subscribers, especially if you have below 1,000 subscribers, prospects are going to be like, okay, this guy doesn't, really know what he's talking about. He doesn't have much social proof, right? Even if your content is extremely valuable. Now, you'll still make sales. However, this top of funnel content will just make your brand even more trustworthy, right? This is why people buy followers on Instagram or on YouTube. Don't do that, by the way, but this is the kind of content that you need to make to get to that 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 subscriber mark, and eventually 100,000 over the span of a year or two. So that is the top of funnel. Then we have the type 2 content, which is more middle of funnel. And this is where we start to make some money, right? So for example, for Joel, what this kind of content was, I cracked the code on SMA service delivery 5x ROAS. So this is a video that solves a specific problem that his prospects would have. And this is really where conversions start to come in, right? This audience right here reaches kind of a medium amount of people, right? This video got 12K views. It's still very good. Still 12,000 targeted viewers that are interested in buying his thing. Now, this will funnel down into a bit of money, which is good because in all of these videos, you're going to have a link to go to your funnel page or to book a call. And for example, this video is basically an in-depth video teaching people how to do service delivery for their SMMA clients so that they can make more money. So it's solving a specific problem. So what I want you to do is kind of list out like all of the main problems that your prospects have, for example, like why they work with you, and then just go ahead and solve those problems. If you're in dropshipping, solve the problem of how to do fulfillment. For example, one of our clients that we do this for, he runs a painting coaching company, right? He helps painters get to $1 million a year. And that is an extremely small market, but he's still able to make a lot of money from it because he just solves those specific people's problems, right? So he's getting a couple hundred views a video. However, he would make a video titled how to build a sales team to get to $1 million a year as a painting company. That solves a very specific problem that those people have, right? So the goal of this is not views, but it is to solve problems. Now, the main part of this is that you're nurturing the existing prospects. With the top of funnel content, you're bringing new prospects into your ecosystem. And with this kind of content, you are nurturing them, showing them that you are an expert. You need to demonstrate your value here. You need to demonstrate that you know what you're talking about, which is very, very important. So that is type 2 content. Now, if we go ahead and move on to type 3 content, this is bottom of funnel content. Now, this is very important because this is where you make the most money. In this kind of content, you will reach the lowest amount of people. However, you will make the highest amount of money. What this is essentially case study content. You can see this for Joel. He built a $3.6 million a year SMA in 7 months. right? That is just a case study video. And we framed it to be a little bit more broad, so it actually did get 16,000 views, which led to a lot of money, right? So you can frame these case studies to be a little bit broader, but you can also do them a little bit more niche, be like, how Ryan went from X to X as a painter, something like that. Like, that's really good. Or like how we helped Ryan go from X to X. So this kind of content, bottom of funnel content, is just going to be an in-depth case study. You can do it over Zoom. You can do it, I would recommend doing it on riverside.fm actually. That's a much better platform to actually record this kind of interview style content. It's like Zoom, but for podcasts, basically. A little bit higher quality. And again, you're not going for broad here. So you're just gonna go niche and then convert that into cash. Now, one of the goals with this content is showing people the transformation that someone else had after working with you, right? So you're going to basically take people through. You're going to be like, hey, what's your story? Like, where were you before? What problems were you experiencing? And then after they work with you, you could be like, where are you now? Like, do you feel confident? And then also at the end of the video, be like, would you have any advice for anyone looking to pull the trigger on working with us? And they'll be like, yeah, just do it, right? So it's a very good conversion mechanism because it shows prospects like, okay, they actually help real people and they get real results. It's a very powerful thing to do. You also want to tell the client story. So in the beginning, you want to tell the client story. That's what a lot of case studies miss, and that makes it so much more effective. It makes it so much more entertaining because the prospect is telling their story, and then viewers can connect to that story because likely the prospect is in a very similar place to the person that you're interviewing, right? So they were like, I hated my 9 to 5. I didn't want to go to work. And then all of a sudden I found out about dropshipping and I was like, okay, let me give it a try. I struggled at first. I couldn't find product. I tried all these things and it just didn't work, right? But then after, working with Linden or after working with whoever, he just gave me the product and I launched it and it did really well. I made my first sale. I made my first $1,000 a day and just overall became very successful, right? So that's going to kind of be how you frame it. And one thing I would also mention on this is try to let the prospect talk about your service naturally. You don't really need to ask like a ton of probing questions. Like, keep it more like an interview and just, you don't need to ask like, hey, like, how did we help you? You could just ask like, where were you then? Where are you now? And then how did you get through that? And they will almost always naturally mention your service. Obviously, if they don't, then you could prompt some questions, but 99% of the time they will. So that is the bottom of funnel content. Now we're getting into the really, really important stuff. So you can see this split on Joel's channel like pretty evenly. This is going to be 33%, 33%, 33%. So we have 2 videos that are top of funnel. The ultimate guide to making your first $1,000 with SMA, pure top of funnel. If I started an SMA in 2024, I'd pick this niche, pure top of funnel. Then we have I cracked the code on SMA service delivery, 5x ROAS. That's a more in-depth video. How to actually start a 10K month SMA full guide. That's a bit between a type 1 and type 2, but I'd classify it more as like a type 2. And then we have, he built a $3.6 million a year SMA in 7 months and their content agency makes $130K a month. Here's how. That is bottom of funnel. So we have top of funnel, middle of funnel, and then bottom of funnel. Now, we can add onto here. So boom, here's where we start to make serious money. And here's where we start to print a ton of leads as a coach or consultant. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive all of this traffic back to this video. Now, this video could either be a free course like Joel has, so like a 12-hour free course. And the reason why we do this is because of something called the 7-11-4 rule, which you might have heard of. It's a study that Google did where they essentially found that people need to consume about 7 hours of content before they purchase from you, right? And that's why we have this super long free course, because it's a valuable video that people will likely spend like 1 to 2 hours on and just spend a lot of time with you, because it's very hard to get 7 hours of watch time on just like little 10, 30-minute videos, right? So this is a huge conversion asset. What this does, it just demonstrates your value. It solves every problem that the prospect has, and then you basically charge for more one-on-one coaching. Now, if you sell the information, if your business is currently based around selling the information, you can do this a little bit differently, and you can actually run a VSL, which is going to be like a 30 to 40-minute video. And that basically walks prospects through like, okay, here are all your options to solve your problem. Here is the best option, and here's how we can provide it to you. That's kind of how the VSL is structured. So that is that, but I would recommend personally pushing to a free course. That's by far how we've seen people book the most calls. That made Joel over $6 million. It's made a lot of our other clients over $100,000 a month completely organically. And it's just a very powerful asset. And I'll kind of show you how that works. So with this free course video, you are going to have a bunch of CTAs. So you are going to CTA in the beginning to a school community. And the reason why you CTA to a school community is because you have DMs. Now, if you're a coach or consultant, you know how important it is to have access, direct text access to your prospects, right? Because if they're just watching a YouTube video, they can comment, but you can't actually message them, right? So that's why you push them to school, where you have some templates, you have some freebies, and they can just go ahead and get in there. And then you can actually message them and book them into calls, right? Which is the important part. You can also launch this free course, by the way, on school for about 3 months before you post the full thing on YouTube, just to capture all that initial traffic and get that into school. And then what you're also gonna have in this intro is you're gonna have 2 CTAs. So you're gonna have a CTA to school, and then you're also gonna have the CTA to a book a call. Now, this one is really important because anyone who comes in off another video, which is where the majority of these viewers are going to come from, a lot of them will be ready to book a call. You want to capture that in the intro because likely they're probably not going to watch the full 8 to 12 hour course, right? You're going to essentially ask them to book a call, and a lot of them will. But if they don't, that just means they need to consume more content, right? There's 2 types of buyers. There's the 3% of the market that is ready to book a call, and there's the 97% of the market that is not quite ready and needs to consume more content before they book a call. So if they don't, they'll just keep watching, and then what you're going to do around hour 2, you're going to CTA to a book a call. And then around hour 4, you're gonna CTA to a book a call. Hour 6, CTA to a book a call. And you're just gonna basically CTA after every broad section. So let's say you're doing an SMMA free course, do a CTA after how to do service delivery. You do a CTA after how to do sales. And these modules should probably be anywhere from like 1 to 2 hours long. And then at the very end of the video, you are going to CTA again to school, because again, you wanna get the DM access. And you are also going to CTA to a book a call. Now, I can guarantee you this video right now, even just organically, gets a ton of views. Like this video usually gets over 100,000 views just in pretty much most markets, unless you have a very small total addressable market. Like for example, like painting companies doing over $1 million a year. This free course video is not gonna get 100,000 views, just not happening. However, in most markets, especially BizOp markets, it will get over 100,000 views organically, which will convert a lot of people into a book a call. With Joel, when we launched this video, we were booking at one point 100 calls per day. Now, not all of those were qualified. I'd say about half were qualified. So about 50 qualified sales calls per day, which is just like ridiculous. And our closing rate was like 30 to 40% because it comes from organic, right? And these people have spent hours and hours with Joel. So it's a very powerful conversion mechanism. I guarantee if you run this funnel, then you are going to make over $100,000 a month. That's not the entire business, right? Like if you're currently running ads, if you're currently doing emails, DMs, Instagram ads, like whatever it may be, and you're already doing 100 grand a month, this is just an additional 100K a month. And the beautiful thing about organic is if you can keep your costs low, which is exactly kind of what I teach you on this channel, is how to run a very lean content team and just print a ton of cash, then this is pretty much all added to your bottom line. Even if you spend a lot on team, content expenses usually don't go past $10,000 a month. So you think about how much you're probably spending on ads right now. If you're doing over 7 figures a year, then this is $10,000 a month is like nothing. Right? And you can scale that to 300,000, 500,000, $1 million a month. So that is how to get infinite leads and clients as a coach and consultant in 2025. But there's one more thing that you have to understand about converting these leads. And it's something that I started doing recently that's literally allowed me to probably 2x the amount of calls that I book for my YouTube channel. So check out this video next where I show you what it is, how it works, and how you can use it to basically double the amount of people that book a call from your YouTube channel. Thanks and have a good one.